Hey everybody, welcome back to the Close Friends List podcast. It's Maddie. Oh my gosh, first off, I just want to say thank you for all the love and support and the feedback from the first episode that dropped last week. Honestly, I was so excited to have my DMs flooded with like people saying how much they loved it, and it just like, honestly, all your messages made my day. And there's some people that I know, there's some people that I literally don't know at all who messaged me. And so I'm just like so happy. And I hope that the podcast made you happy. And I hope that I continue to bring laughter and joy into your life. Like I actually mean it. I had someone message me who said, that they were just kind of in a sad place, kind of in a funk, and that my podcast just made them really happy and like helped them escape their feelings from the day. And honestly, like that just made my day. I just like love to hear that. That was the best thing I've heard. Oh my gosh, you know what? I never checked if there were any reviews on it. I think you can get reviews on Apple. Let me see. Oh, we got 5 stars. 5 stars. That's great. No reviews yet, but that's totally fine. I'm not going to be thirsting out for the reviews, honestly. So so thank you so much for all the love and support. I'm so happy about it. My brother gave me some constructive criticism. He's kind of like an NPR podcast listener. He listens to podcasts that sound like this and have music in the background. He was like, you need to add some music. You need to like a softer voice, like a more soothing voice. I was like, oh my God, we are just on different wavelengths here, dude. Like I listen to podcasts that are like, you know, girls talking just like I am right now. And so I was like, we're just on different wavelengths here. But yeah, anyway, so that was funny. And then my mom, she would like me to say shit less. So I will do my best. But I was like, God damn. Okay, well, I guess I'll try to cuss less. But yeah, again, thank you so much. I am here live. I'm actually in I'm live. I am live from the Oregon coast. I am currently in a sauna because it's really hard to find a place to record when your whole family's here. Well, actually, minus one of my siblings. One of my siblings decided to go on a camping trip instead, which is fine. But I was just like, oh, wow, like we're all here except for her. Shout out to Kristen. Anyway. So it's kind of hard to find like a spot in the house to record a podcast. You know, I'm a gal on the go. And so I was trying to get some podcasting done while I'm here on vacation. And, so I'm currently in a sauna. It is turned off for obvious reasons. I have podcasting equipment in here. I would not like it to melt. So I'm in a sauna recording in here. It's honestly so relaxing. I am just laying on my stomach. I'm not going to lie. It's like I'll take a picture. I'll show you guys. I have my friend Jaden on today, which I'm really excited. We're going to get to kind of like an interview with her. Unfortunately, the sound isn't perfect. It's not to Connor's NPR standards. That's what I'm going to go off of now. I'm just going to be like NPR standards. It's about like I would say a 6 out of 10 on the NPR scale. So I don't even know if I'm like allowed to say that. I don't know. I hope this doesn't get like cut from any platforms because I keep saying NPR. I'm here at the Oregon coast. Jaden and I went to Idaho. I feel like I've been like a lot of places lately. You know what I have noticed about road trips, and this is going to be the most random thing, but I guarantee if you guys start paying attention, you will see this. Do you know like personal floss sticks? Like the little ones that you just use once and throw away and they have like a little pointy thing at the end. Yeah, when you go places, I don't care if it's in your hometown or if you're going on a road trip, you will see these in every major parking lot on the ground. I'm not joking. That is something that I noticed maybe like a few years ago, and now anytime I travel, I see it. And you know, it's so random, but it's true. Like I literally told my mom, I was like, Mom, start looking out for these. And now my mom sends me pictures all the time. She's like, you're right. You can find these in any major parking lot. I don't know what it is about those. It's like a toothpick floss thing. You guys will know what I'm talking about. You probably even know what I'm talking about right now. They are everywhere. Any state. I've been to 2 states in the past few weeks, and they are here. They are everywhere. Anyway, so start looking out for floss picks. That's something that I've noticed about road trips. A couple weeks ago, Jaden and I, we last minute decided to go on a trip to Ethel, Idaho. Yes, Ethel, Idaho has this place called Silverwood. It is an amusement park. And honestly, Idaho's in phase 4. This was like a controversial trip for us. I actually got some DMs. I had one from a friend who was like genuinely concerned, so I'm not talking about her. But I literally got a DM from someone who was like, remember the CDC says non-essential travel, like, you know, that kind of stuff. But I was like, honestly, like, it felt essential to my self-care to like get out of town. So it was about like a 7-hour drive, which is so long. But I drove most of the time. And honestly, like, Jaden did not know this. But I've been in 4 car accidents, all caused by me. And I'm just going like, 100 on the freeway in her car, living the dream, going on my dream vacation. But yeah, we went camping, and honestly, like, I have not camped since I was like 10 years old. And now, like, I'm just like an older gal with high maintenance. I have lash extensions I got to take care of. And so that's just like the peak of my maintenance. And I'm out here camping. We get to the campground, and first of all, we tell the campground that we are going to be there at 8:30 p.m. Well, we just like took our sweet time. We got to have dinner with my Grammy. So I was like, pull over. We're about to get a free meal. So meal, a free meal. And so we like pulled over, spent so much time with her and the rest of my family. And so we got there at 11 p.m., which is several hours late. And literally when we get there, the campground people are like, what the heck? It is quiet hours in the whole town of Ethel. They were like, it is quiet hours. You need to sign this paper. We need to go to sleep. We got fishing in the morning. Just kidding. It wasn't that dramatic, but it felt that dramatic to me that they were very upset that we were several hours late, which I totally understand, but I just like didn't think that was like so serious. I don't know. I was like, we're on a road trip. We're coming from Seattle. It's a long ways away. Anyway, so we get there at 11 p.m. There was obviously like tents and stuff. I haven't been camping in forever. So they told us that we were at Campground 6. I will never forget Campground 6. It was a wonderful place. And we just like were not confident in the fact that we could set up a tent because Jaden had this pee-wee tent. I mean, it was a tent for ants. I was like, we are 2 Thiccs. You think we can fit in that tent? So we ended up making that tent like more of like a storage, a closet. And so we like asked, hey, can we like drive the car up onto Campground 6? And they were like, yeah, sure. Which was like, in the end, we realized was very embarrassing because we were the only car, like there was like a whole separate parking lot, but we were the only car like actually pulled up onto the campground. So we are driving through straight grass in Ethel, Idaho, on our way to our campground, number 6. We pull up, and Jaden was trying to figure out the tent, and I was honestly like, we are not fitting in that thing. I'm sleeping in the back of your car. Like, I was like, I don't care. I'm sleeping in your car. So Jaden's trying to set it up, and it was just way too late. It was a major fail. So we end up having a silent bonfire together. You know when you're like not supposed to laugh and it makes it 1,000 times funnier? So I was literally like, we were about to like piss our pants laughing while trying to talk during quiet hours. And I kept making the jokes like, this feels like ASMR. I was just trying to say, all I need is a big ass semi to drive by. And I just couldn't get it out for hours. We couldn't stop laughing over it. Anyway, so we sleep in Jaden's car. And the next morning, it felt like a fisherman's weekend. Like it was all these like Montana, Idaho, and Washington men out here, just like rednecks about to go fishing with the boys. Saturdays are for the boys, especially in Ethel, Idaho. So we see these guys and they're all like, they've got their big tents. I mean, I saw a tent that was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom tent. I mean, it was ridiculous. And Jaden and I couldn't even set up our little pee-wee tent the night before. So we wake up at 9 a.m., which is like considerably like the mid-afternoon for these fishermen and for these happy campers. And we roll out. I mean, I roll out. My hair's a mess. Jaden's hair is a mess. We're just a mess. I have a Cardi B t-shirt on. Half of these men probably don't even know who she is. And then I have an eyelash extension on my cheek. I'm looking around. We come out, and it just felt like everybody turned and looked at us. They were like, who were these idiots sleeping in a car last night with an unset up tent, parts laid out all over Campground Thiccs? So I felt like everybody was like waiting for us to get up to see like, who are these idiots? So we roll out, and everybody's looking over at us, and we're just like, hi, and they're all like, morning. They were all very friendly, but I just felt a little judged in that moment. And then we just like, thank God they had a bathroom with showers. I was like, wow, this is like luxury. I thought I would have had to gone into the creek. So I was very glad about that one. But yeah, that was quite the journey. And honestly, I'm thinking about getting a billboard out in Athol, Idaho, because I feel like that could be like the cheapest way to promote my podcast. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so coming up is my short interview with Jaden. I just love her so much. Honestly, Jaden is like one of those people who feels like they are just refreshing. But honestly, she just is so awesome. She makes me laugh. She honestly inspires me. One of the biggest things that Jaden has inspired me to do is she told me about this organization called Compassion. And Compassion supports children across the world who have the need for food and shelter and things like that, so you can sponsor them. All you have to pay is, I believe it's like a little under $40 a month to support a child, which the way she explained it, she was like, I mean, if you think about it, like kids are expensive. To only have to pay less than $40 to support a child every single month so that they can live their lives and have food and have shelter and have an education, like that is like one of the best things you can do. And so she really inspired me to do that. So Jaden has a sponsored child that she's been sponsoring forever. And she was like, you know what? It brings meaning to my paycheck. Like, not only am I supporting my life and what my needs are, but I'm supporting a kid who is in a different country, who has less than me. And honestly, that just really inspired me. It is a Christian organization, but you can like write letters, they can write back to you. And it's kind of like, not only are you supporting them, but you can also have a relationship with them. And so I was just really inspired by that. And Jaden, I know that she knows that I'm not like recording this part of the podcast, but thank you so much for giving me that information, because now I sponsor a child. He had been waiting for a sponsor for over 1,000 days. Like, he has needed help to get food on the table and to get education for over 1,000 days. And so I believe that Jaden as well, like her sponsor child was waiting for like 500 days. And so there are some kids out there who have been waiting a long time to get some help. So I just want to like plug that in there, because I know that that's something that Jaden is passionate about. And I'm just thankful that she shared that with me. And I wish that she could have shared this part on the podcast, but we totally forgot. But Compassion is what it's called. If you look it up, you'll be able to find it. I sponsor this really cute kid. His name is Fabius. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I wish I did, but he's so cute. And he's 8 years old. We have similar birthdays. We're both Aries. Hello, Aries. Got to send him a birthday present around that time. He's from Kenya, and he's just so cute. And honestly, like, it's so true. It just like makes me feel like I have meaning to my paycheck. And not only do I get to take care of myself, but I have the privilege to take care of somebody else that I have never even met. So that was really cool. But I'm so thankful to have Jaden in my life. She has recently become one of my close friends, and I'm so excited for you guys to get to know her as well. So coming up next is Jaden. I'm here with my very first guest, Jaden Bradley. Welcome, Jaden.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. This is our second time recording this. Because so the first time we recorded it while we had 2 White Claws in our system. We were at a camping trip, and so therefore we recorded it in the back of Jaden's car. And I want to make this the best podcast out there, and it wouldn't have been from Athol.
Apple, Idaho.
Jaden and I have known each other for 2 years. We literally hit it off like so instantly. Like
Instant.
I just knew you were my girl. And so here we are 2 years later, still friends. We just recently kind of like reconnected. We were like, why don't we hang out?
Yeah, that's exactly what we said.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, wait a second. Why are we not best friends? And so now we're close friends. Pun intended.
Pun intended.
So Jaden, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about you?
Well, my name is Jaden. Start by the basics.
Yes.
I'm originally from a small town called Prosser. Anyone who knows me thinks that I am just making this little town up, but I promise it's real. I moved here 2 years ago for a Bible college, which I no longer go to and no longer exists. So
rest in peace. Church Home College.
I currently work at a retirement home with our elders. Love them. They have the best.
Who's your favorite
stories.
elder?
Oh, well, confidential reasons, can't say, but.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Oh, my God.
I do have my favorites, even though you can't, but it's really the ones who get me when they tell me great stories, and you just kind of have the same humor once you're around them for so long. You kind of adapt. I find myself saying little phrases that I'm like, where did that come from?
From the elders.
From the elders, yes.
Love that for you. Okay, so in honor of my first episode, I'm going to ask every guest this to tell an interesting fact about yourself.
Oh, well, my interesting fact would probably be I was a water girl for my high school football team for 3 years. 3 years of my high school career.
Did you get any football men from that?
No.
Not what?
No, I was like the little sister.
I feel like that's like a fantasy. Like, I would much rather be a water girl than a cheerleader.
That is what girls would say. They said, how did you get this job? And I'm like, well, the coach asked me to, which is not a lie.
How?
Well, he used to be like my history teacher in middle school, and so he knew. But my rule was, if you're going to be a water girl, you're not allowed to date the boys. Because I said, if you want to date the boys, you got to be a cheerleader.
Okay, so the opposite is the dream.
Yes, but because I took that job seriously, I was there.
What water girl advice would you pass on to a fellow water girl besides don't date football players?
Pay attention to the game. You don't want to be that dumb girl on the sidelines who doesn't know what's happening, because when they quit for their break, like when they are taking a timeout, the boys want water on the field, and when you're not paying attention and they're yelling for water, the coaches will yell at you like you're a player. So you need to get
Oh my God.
out there.
Has that happened to you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I literally am triggered when I hear the word water. It's
Trigger. Trigger warning. We will say the word water during this episode. Here's a fun fact that I am placing on you.
Okay, all right.
You have a great voice.
Thank you.
But just like me being more than my mole, you are more than your voice.
More than my mole. Something I actually had to grow confidence into, because when I was younger, I really hated singing in front of my family, and I still kind of do, and they know that for sure. I did not start singing up until my senior year of high school. I sang in front of my assembly, and I think that's when I started getting more recognized, and people were telling me more, like, you have such a great voice, you need to do something. So then I moved away and I joined the worship team at the church.
I love that.
Yeah, so I think that's really where I actually found my voice. I really haven't been singing for that long.
Do you have a TikTok? You need to make one.
I did post one video on TikTok. I got like 5 likes.
Wow,
I
that's impressive.
gave up on my dream.
You shouldn't give up on your dreams.
I just learned today that Maddie plays the piano, and I don't know if that's something she told me before, and I just wasn't listening.
No.
But
I never tell people. I don't tell people until they walk into my room and see a big-ass piano in the corner.
All I asked was to use the toilet, but then I saw the piano in the corner.
Yes, and then it's like, wow, this girl has talent.
Low-key, I was like, should I buy this off of her?
Oh my gosh. No, I literally do. It may get a little dusty here and there because I'm a busy gal. You know, I have a podcast.
That's it.
That's all I've got going. So
yeah, little dust.
Okay, Jaden, now's the time for me to do some interview questions. She is not prepared for this, so if there's a long pause, I'll just cut it off. I'll just cut out the long pauses that are bound to come.
All right.
Okay, so we were just in quarantine for a while. You're an essential worker. So first of all, thank you for being an essential worker. You are literally a hero to the U.S. and the elders during these COVID times.
Lord knows they need me.
What is something that you learned in quarantine, though, in this time of isolation?
Wow. Definitely, I guess, balance between, like, my work schedule and, like, me time. Because there was moments where I felt like I was the only person working in the world. And I knew that was not the case. But it was like, I was the only one in my apartment who was waking up and going to work, and I'd come home. And then it's like, what do I do now? Like, there's nothing to do. And so I don't know, I found time to journal and just, like, write music and just kind of sing and practice guitar. So yeah, it was definitely like I was still working, but it also gave me time to rest and just kind of just like be myself for a minute. And I think everybody needed that during quarantine.
Yes. That's what I kept thinking during quarantine. I'm like, this is the one time in our lives that we get a pause on life.
Yes.
Like everybody.
An entire pause.
Yeah, whether you're working or not. Everyone gets kind of like this halt, this resting time. Obviously, it's terrible that this is happening, and it's so awful. But if you have the privilege to stay home and be healthy, like take advantage of that by like having rest and things like that. But I know that we're coming out of it, but...
Yeah, it definitely was a resting season for everybody.
Yeah. It was a little too long of a resting season, in my opinion.
God, you know...
That's my opinion. Okay, next question. This is kind of like a fill in the blank. This is one, oh, by the way, this is one that is sent in by one of our listeners, Carly. Carly sent me a long email with ideas as well as interview questions. So thank you and shout out to Carly. I will have her on here soon because she had some awesome ideas. But this is one of the questions that she had for interviews. I never would, but I want to blank.
I don't, like, I never would. Because I know who I am and nothing against it. It's
and
just,
you're a woman of God.
It's me, yes.
Just kidding.
The life of being a stripper, just to like the cash. That's all I keep thinking about.
Yeah, totally.
Have you seen Hustler? That movie inspired me.
Oh my gosh, I want to see it.
Such a good film. But something I would never do.
That's honestly such a good answer.
Yeah.
Something you wish that people wouldn't assume about you.
I don't know. I've always been the funny girl. And so I've actually had someone tell me one time that, like, once I, like, started singing, they're like, oh, I didn't know, like, you were not just the funny girl around here. Yeah. And so I'm like, ooh, yikes. I think there's more than meets the eye.
Yes, love that. Okay, another very serious question that might take you a little bit of time to think about, consider, things like that. So just get ready.
Okay.
What is your favorite emoji?
I can answer this. So it's the face that looks like he's like telling a secret with his finger. He's like, shh.
Oh, no, that's shushing, not telling a secret.
Well, it looks like it. So I always use it like when I'm like, don't tell. It just looks like he's like making a kissy face.
And then the last thing is, tell us, who is on your close friends list?
My close friends, I'm going to have to go with, first of all, my mother, Jaden Bradley.
Gina, shout out to Gina.
Shout out.
She gave us 3 wonderful kids on this earth.
5.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot about her.
Sean did provide those 3. No, it's all good. I also forget about the 2 older. But yeah, my mom, she's just super funny and she posts a lot about my family, and you'll probably find some really old awkward photos that she always posts of me.
Love that.
Yeah, I never asks, but she does. So yeah, love her though. And then the next person I'm going to say is Jared Weathers. I love Jared with all of my heart. He's just one of those people that I will always stick with me. Like, even if we don't talk for years, he will just always be a memory that I
How do you know him?
I met him through our Bible college that I moved to. And yeah, he's just like, he is such a genuine and honest person. And I would follow him because Jared is Black and he is so good at educating other people, especially on his social media right now, about just how to go about in the Black Lives Matter movement. And I don't know, I just respect him so much as a person, and I know that what he's saying isn't just to be a part of what's going on in our world, but it's genuinely who he is. And he's been, like, the things that we're talking about today, he has been trying to pass this message on since the day that I met him. So there's things that I've even said to him that I realized that now was not okay. But, like, so I don't know, obviously the world's adapting and I've learned so much. He's just he's a great guy.
That's awesome. Yeah. You mentioned him, and I thought that I had never met him before, but I did. He was a model for one of the shoots that I did for apparel. Yeah, and I like literally didn't realize until I saw his Instagram profile.
That's so funny.
Anyway, you were a great model, Jared.
Did you use his foot?
A sock. Yes, a sock model. I was about to say that. He's an okay model, but an even better sock model.
Woo, woo.
Jared the sock. Yeah, sell him to the daddies out there.
The next person I'm gonna say, someone I have such a love for, Chris Pratt, one of my best friends. Chris, if you're
Daddy
listening,
Chris.
I would love nothing more than to meet you in person.
One of my favorite things that he said on Parks and Rec was, he improvised this, like, Leslie was sick and going home, and then he goes, Leslie, I just looked up your symptoms. I think you might have connectivity problems. It was so funny.
He's such a funny guy.
And then also, this is another somewhat shameful story about former pastor who we love and respect, Judah Smith. Shout out to him. I don't know if he'll ever listen, but hello, Judah. Judah, there was something that happened that was just not okay, in my opinion. Judah Smith went live on his Instagram, because he's been doing that a lot, and he had Chris Pratt join, and Chris Pratt was playing his guitar, and Judah's like, oh, and Jaden and I have both seen this video, and it's just like, it's so funny. Maybe I'll post it on the close friends list.
Please.
So basically what happens is Chris Pratt sings the song, Bye, bye, little Sebastian. Oh my, we should do a cover of this song.
Sing that again, please.
Bye, bye, little Sebastian. Wow! Wow! Oh my gosh! You know what? Now that I have connections with, like, Spotify, Apple, like, all those things, let's record it. I'll play the piano. Yes. You can sing. Oh my God, genius. So Chris Pratt starts singing that song, and Judah is looking at him like, are you crazy? Like, what are you singing? He just looks like so lost, so confused. He's not freaking out like anyone in this earth should if they're hearing Bye Bye Little Sebastian live.
Exactly.
So it's just really upsetting, deeply upsetting. And that's why he's not my pastor anymore. Just kidding.
Once we break it down, this is really hurt.
This is why I left the church. Just kidding.
I'm not mad about that. I get it, you know?
Yeah. I'm sure that once this podcast comes out,
yes,
the attendance of church is going to drop.
Yes. I actually remember my mom calling me that day, and she said, did you see Judah Smith's alive? And I said, what? And she told me Chris Pratt was on there, and I was like, no way. Like, oh, I'm so jealous. I missed it. She said, yeah, and told me this whole thing. She said, I couldn't believe it. He didn't even know what the song was.
Yeah, he literally did it. It was embarrassing.
Fake.
Anyway, Jaden, any final thoughts for the listeners today?
I just cannot tell you how honored I am to be a part of this podcast. I genuinely was so excited when Maddie asked me.
Yes, and you're the first guest. Like, this is a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yes. It's inspired me to go off and branch off on my own. So, but it's really made me feel like a better talker, better speaker.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can people follow you on Instagram?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Jaden _Bradley. Jaden
Had to think long and hard about that one.
Because I'm like, I have so many users out there, apparently. You'll find me. Maddie will tag me.
Yeah, I'll tag her anyway. But thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. We'll see you guys next Friday. You can follow at The Close Friends List on Instagram. You can also always email us at theclosefriendslist@gmail.com. We want you to share your stories of how you would share. No, so bad. We want you to share your stories of the week, your close friends list stories, whatever you would share with your close friends. Share it with us at my email. You can either you can click on the email button in my bio. That's the easiest way to email me. So, and I love emails. I mean, that's like it's the least convenient way to communicate, and yet it's what I have chosen. It's the path I've gone down.
Maddie is so thirsty for these emails.
And I've only gotten one.
She'd rather email than text a soul.
Yeah, don't DM me ever. Just email me. I swear to God, you DM me instead of email me. I will literally be like, go to hell. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Find a way to communicate with me because I would love to hear from you. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next Friday. Bye.